So how are your eyes related to the golf ball, and do you even need to look at it at impact to create great club face control and strike the ball perfectly? Let's take a look at this. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Click below. And if you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. On to today's video. We're having a look at Dustin Johnson, who hits a fade, and Zach Johnson, who hits a draw. Now, apart from the obvious of the club path and how the club is interacting with the ball at the bottom, what is it that they do completely differently to one another at impact with their eye position that controls the shot shape? It's quite unique. Well, actually, it isn't. You look at lots of players, you know, many back now, we're talking David Duval, Annika Sorenstam, were sort of eulogised throughout the world. People were thinking it was, you know, amazing that their head was in this position. But when you think about it, their head was up because their shoulders were so open. So their neck was aligned, and so too was their eyes. And they both hit beautiful little cuts. Both of them were world number ones, and neither of them looked at the golf ball. Okay. Dustin doesn't look at it at impact, he's got the head position. You know, there's loads of people that don't. But then you conversely look at Zach Johnson, and he's very much in this position. So you can see now, the shoulders are going to be higher, the left arm's going to be a little bit higher, right elbow's a bit more bent, but the eye alignment is again linked to the shoulders. So how these two relate to one another is completely in sync with your club path. So what we're talking about here is, if you are somebody who really struggles fading the golf ball, stuck underneath it in draws and blocks, give it a try. Get a feeling. Now, what I like to do is pick out a target. When I'm in the studio, I like to pick out a target on the net and a very exact little point, and then get them to look for it early. So what I'm going to do is, there's a little red dot on the camera here. I'm going to try and look for that red dot way before the club gets to impact. I'm going to get the feeling of what the shoulders feel like they do. So as I've been making this movement now, get the feeling of the head looking forwards. So I felt like the body opened loads there. Now the key is that once I'm here, I feel like I'm starting to look here. So I'm trying to find it as early as I can. Now getting it that way, look how open the body is. The shoulders are miles open, and therefore the club just flings around with the body, and it feels a totally unrestricted movement. That would really help you if you end up being trapped underneath it. You've got shut shoulders, and if your shoulders are closed, unless you know how to control the club face like Zach Johnson does, he's obviously exceptionally good at it, okay, your shoulders could lead to a flip, which could give you a two-way miss. Now, I'm not saying everybody does this, because they don't, but this could be a reason why you struggle with your hooks and your blocks, because those shoulders aren't opening. That's a really weird sensation. You don't have to see the golf ball when you're hitting it, but let's give it a go on what it actually looks like in practice, okay? So, got it on a reasonable lie here. I'm going to pick out a target in the distance. I'm going to actually make a practice swings to get the feeling for it. Okay, so I felt like I was looking really early for the target there. Okay, so have a go at this now. I'm going to set myself up to try and hit a fade. So you can see if it relates to what that path is that is sort of totally in sync with what these other players are hitting in terms of shapes. So I've got myself stood open here. To make sure we look, I've got a little target out of that bush. I'm going to look for that bush nice and early on. So I felt so open on the ball there. That's actually hit a tiny little 2-yard cut. So it's not cut by a lot, but it's cut, okay? And it started exactly where I wanted it to and came back. Now, for me, it's such a strange concept there. Felt like I was somewhere here, okay? You'll probably watch it back and tell me it was nowhere near that, but it was definitely up. And that gave me that feeling of really being open, and everything could flow around very easily. Now, we're looking at Zach, who hits a draw. So we've just looked at Dustin, who gets the eyes up to hit the cut. We're now talking about the draw. So what he's doing is, his eyes are pointing slightly to the right of the target line at impact. Because what this does is it promotes the inside track of club head into the ball. So if you're a slicer, this could be one of the secrets to help you get rid of it. So what we're doing is this is going to control the path, and the club face will then be related to where your hands are pressuring, where your knuckles are pointing, not flipping the club, but how you deliver the club face. But the first thing we're going to try and deliver that path. So the path is going to be delivered through the eye alignment. So it's going to feel like the eyes are looking to the right of the target here at address. So I can feel that when my eyes are looking to the right in this direction, how the club's coming a lot more into out. Now I want to make sure I hit a draw this time. So what I'm going to do is put the ball a little bit further forward to let the club face close a touch more. I'm going to really focus at this eye alignment being out to the right. So I've got the eyes over to the right here at address. I'm going to really focus at staying there now. So that one's hit, a little tiny draw coming back, but I was very focused. Now what's very interesting is the two are quite different in terms of the divots. The draw's a little bit shallower, the fade's a little bit steeper, so obviously I was getting more open and more down opening at the head. I was a bit more back behind it, so that was shallower. So that could be something that will give you a bit of indication. There could be your divot. Obviously there's loads of things that come into this, which can be how much lag you hold, do you take a divot ordinary, loads of things are going to come into it, but this is going to be huge in terms of your striking. So if you are in one pattern or another, if you struggle hitting, you know, the two-way miss of blocks and hooks, do you struggle hitting pulls and slices, whichever one it is, have a look at the player with the eye alignment and see if this can help you control the path better. It works for some of the best players in the world. Why don't you give it a try, because it's going to be totally linked to how your shoulders rotate. Because don't forget, the shoulders, the neck, the head, they're all interlinked. If you hold it back and try and open the shoulders, you can be straining the neck, giving yourself all sorts of pain and getting injured. Give it a go and see if it helps your game. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. I'm making loads more content coming your way. Watch out for it. Also, comment below on what videos you'd like going forwards to help your game. Thanks for watching, and talk with you again soon.